I'm joined today with Dennis Mckeon of the Where to Turn Foundation.
My name is Dennis Mckeon. I'm the Executive Director of Where to Turn. We're a not-for-profit organization here on Staten Island that was started after September 11, 2001 to help the 29 families that lost loved ones in the World Trade Center in St. Clair's Parish. From that, started community projects such as graffiti cleanups, snow shoveling for seniors, and then we started developing plans for, anytime a disaster occurred, we tried to put together creative solutions to the problem. One of our projects is the toy store. Last year we gave away 2,500 toys. Tom is great. His offices, his realtors donate toys. They have toy drives at their office, and he gives us hundreds of toys every year, which we add to our collection, and we give them out to families that can't afford.
What's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Tom Crimmins Realty Real Talk. I'm joined today with Dennis Mckeon of the Where to Turn Foundation. And of course, as usual, alongside with me is Vincent Brown, the only licensed real estate professional on the show. And as you notice where we are, we're in the toy shop at the Where to Turn warehouse on 22 Brianna Court. And before we say anything, I'll just let Dennis introduce who he is, what he does, and what the Where to Turn Foundation is all about. So Dennis?
Okay, thank you for coming. My name is Dennis Mckeon. I'm the Executive Director of Where to Turn. We're a not-for-profit organization here on Staten Island that was started after September 11, 2001 to help the 29 families that lost loved ones in the World Trade Center in St. Clair's Parish. From that, grew into with the help of the Robin Hood Foundation, we became a 501c3 and started community projects such as graffiti cleanups, snow shoveling for seniors. And then we started developing plans for, anytime a disaster occurred, we tried to put together creative solutions to the problem. And we also got the students involved in Staten Island. I believe you were involved in one of our cleanups. You might even been involved in the snow shoveling for seniors program. And they continue today. One of our projects is the toy store. This back room in our warehouse becomes a toy store every year. Last year we gave away 2,500 toys. Tom is great. His offices, his realtors donate toys. They have toy drives at their office, and he gives us hundreds of toys every year, which we add to our collection, and we give them out to families that can't afford. This year we couldn't have a toy store, so we're using this as a distribution center, and what we're doing is we're taking requests from people that need help, and we're trying to fill those requests and then calling them to come in to pick up bags, fill the toys that our volunteers have prepared.
That's amazing, Dennis. I appreciate everything you do. I know Vincent does. I know we do at Tom Crimmins Realty. And to talk a little bit about how you guys got started with memorializing those and giving people who needed help at 9/11 a place to turn. That's the motivation behind the name, as you said, right? Where to turn, because
Yes.
No one else knew where to turn. And
That's
they turned to you guys, and you were there, willing and able to help, and we appreciate that. Vincent, do you have anything you want to ask him?
Yeah, we're coming up on 20 years now of both 9/11 and the start of your organization. Do you have anything planned for the 20-year mark?
We, at the 5th anniversary and the 6th anniversary, we had the 9/11 memorial quilt at St. John's University. We talked to the owner of the quilt again, and we had plans to bring the quilt back to St. John's this year to celebrate the 20th anniversary. Depending on where we are with COVID and how soon the vaccine is available and how soon people will be able to congregate again in large numbers, that's what we're planning to do. We do, though, however, every 9/11, we provide free bus service for any 9/11 family from Staten Island to and from the memorial service, so we'll be doing that again next year.
That's remarkable. I'm a firm believer in, obviously, to know where you're going, you have to know where you started from. And you guys started from some pretty strong places that touch a lot of people's hearts, and it's a very sensitive subject. But in the coming time with Christmas upon us and people turning to loved ones and thinking about loved ones and trying to fully capture the Christmas spirit, we're in the toy shop, as you said. When did you start the toy drive? What was really the motivation behind the toy drive? And how can you explain that?
It pretty much grew out of the 9/11 support. What we did is, the first couple of years we would buy toys for the 9/11 kids who lost their parents and things like that. At that time, what we really did is we just took requests and we asked people to donate toys, and then we gave them out to people that needed it. What we started after Sandy, though, is we didn't have the warehouse back then. We've only been in the warehouse for 4 years. So what we started after Sandy, the Bus Drivers Union of Staten Island was gracious enough to give us their space where they were building their new offices, and we opened a toy store, a pop-up toy store. So for the years that followed after that, we found different locations to do the pop-up toy store. We did 2 at St. John's. They gave us space at St. John's. We did 1 at the Lane Theater. And then when we took over the warehouse, we had this room, and this became the permanent toy
That's
store.
amazing. That's pretty, like I said, remarkable, as many of the things you two are in the organization. So this is our, I believe, 5th or 6th year with Tom Crimmins Realty doing the toy drive, right?
Yes.
So we're collecting toys at the Manor Road office at 304 Manor Road in accordance with, obviously, the Where to Turn Foundation. And Dennis has been a huge help. You guys do everything from collecting them here as well at 22 Granite Court, but there are other locations like the Tom Crimmins Realty office where you can donate toys if you guys want to help and contribute in any way possible. Vin, you have any questions? You have anything with Christmas that you want to continue with?
No, I'm just taking it in, and it's a tremendous place to be
Yeah.
in. It's nice.
We're gonna show it to you guys. You guys will see. We'll walk through the warehouse. Talk about the cleanups. I know Tom Crimmins has mentioned that you love painting fire hydrants and doing whatever you can to do that. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, we've been doing cleanups for quite a bit, and about 5 or 6 years ago, the city council started their cleanup initiative, and at the time, Steve Matteo, Councilman Matteo and Councilman Ignizio came to me and said, listen, you do cleanups anyway, why don't we fund you and you do cleanups for us?
Nice.
So we started with the 50th and 51st council districts. They would give me a list of locations. I would either through volunteers or hire a couple of high school kids during the summer. We would go and do the cleanups. The fire hydrant. I made the mistake of painting a fire hydrant at one of our cleanups because I didn't like the way it looked. And then the next thing I know, and about 2 weeks later, I had a list of 150 fire hydrants
Wow.
that they wanted us to paint. So we painted probably around 1,200 fire hydrants. And I want to give a shout out to one of our biggest volunteers, Fran. She does most of them. She's
Wow.
amazing. She'll go out and bang out 20 fire hydrants or whatever.
Wow, that's amazing.
And she does them really nice. I mean, I do them okay, but she's taking over that. She's really good.
That's amazing. Tom told me to bring that up
Yeah.
because he said he busted chops a few times about painting a fire hydrant by him. So
Yes.
that's great. Fran, thank you for all that you do as well for the Where to Turn Foundation. Vin, what do you got? Anything?
You mentioned a movie earlier and a Christmas set that we're standing next to.
Yes.
So could you give us a little idea?
Okay. Since we weren't able to use the space for the toy store, we actually had a group from. We're involved with Ghostlight Productions as well. They put on community shows here on Staten Island. They had a bunch of their singers come in here the past 2 weekends, and they shot videos they're going to do for the 12 days of Christmas they're going to have. So we actually had a band in here, a small band and individual singers, and they taped that. But the biggest thing is, we also use this room as a rehearsal for the Blue Meanies for the Beetle Blast every year.
Oh, wow.
They rehearse and we audition singers for the show here as well. Everything's changed since COVID, but that's hopefully next year we'll be able to do that. So a good friend of mine, Scott Meany, is a graphic artist. He does all of our t-shirts designs and all. And he's written graphic novels. Well, he wrote a movie. And it's a kind of Christmas movie, kind of like something like a Tim Burton style Christmas movie.
Gotcha.
And it's half live action, half puppets.
Okay.
So he came here looking for props. We're going to take you up to the prop shop later.
Yep,
We'll show
yep.
you the prop shop. And while we were talking, he was amazed about how many props that we had. He said to me, I said, where are you shooting the puppet part? And he said, we don't have a space yet. So I brought him in here and I said, here, this big enough? He said, this would be great, but we need a puppet stage. So I called our friend Curtis Kazicki, who does all of the stage. He builds all of the stages for our shows that we do with Ghostlight. He came in and he built this in one day.
Wow.
So now we have a puppet stage. And the way the movie's going to work is there's a vampire puppet whose friends are trying to tell him about the Christmas spirit.
Okay.
And the stories that they're telling about Christmas are actually going to be the live action piece of the movie, where local Staten Island poets are going to write new work about Christmas, and that's how they're going to explain Christmas to this vampire puppet.
Wow.
So we were originally supposed to be filming here next Saturday. We were supposed to start, but because of COVID, we can't have the 3 puppeteers that close behind here. So we pushed it back a month until January. So we're scheduled right now. So that's going to be interesting.
Wow, interesting is definitely the word. Definitely has a Tim Burton feel to it.
Yes.
But it seems like, Dennis, you've pretty much touched every corner of Staten Island with what you do and what the foundation does, and you're pretty much all over. And that's the mission of why we started this segment of the Tom Crimmins Realty, we'll say real estate firm, because we're trying to connect people on Staten Island and bring people together and allow people to get a chance to know you and know the face behind Where to Turn, and really make people feel like they're in a more inclusive environment on Staten Island. So, are you a Staten Islander for life?
Well, I've been here for going on 36 years, so
Wow.
I'm an adopted son of Staten Island.
For my life, you're a Staten Islander. That's good. That's
For
good.
most people's lives, I'm a Staten
No,
Islander.
that's great. And I know you mentioned St. Clair's and the St. Clair's community. I'm a St. Charles guy.
Okay.
So we're pretty close in I guess you say distance. But what about, I know you mentioned the Beatles thing, and before I forget, Tom had mentioned we tried getting the Beatles cover band or whatever
To play on the roof.
to play on the roof of Tom Crimmins Realty, but it didn't work out. But
we did it. We did
Yeah.
it on the roof of the parking lot at the Staten Island Mall.
Oh, really?
We did it.
Oh, wow!
yeah,
I
so
didn't know that. Wow,
yes, we
that's
did.
awesome. That's great. Before we wrap up, we got probably about 2 more questions, and then we'll get started. We'll show you the tour, and if there's anyone outside right now waiting for their toys, you can obviously help them. Vincent, before we wrap up, you want to add anything?
That's all I got. I'm good.
All right. Talk about 2 more things. Talk about your relationship with Tom Crimmins. How do you know him? Where it all started, and how you got together with him to help with the toy drive.
All right. Well, Tom and I first met when our oldest sons were seniors at, actually, while they were going to St. Peter's High School. So that's how I met Tom. And Tom wasn't into real estate at that time.
Oh, wow.
So it was even before Tom Crimmins Realty. But we kept in touch, and then, Tom is very, very community-minded,
Yeah.
and, if he has an issue that he feels, he reaches out to people to try to solve it. And that pretty much works with the mission statement from Where to Turn. So we've worked together on numerous projects where, we try to help each other out. And when he found out we were doing the toy store, I don't know, probably about 4, 5, 6 years ago, he called me up and he said, would it be okay to for our realtors to collect toys for you? And I said, sure. And, there's, like you said, there are some schools are doing toy drive. Chelsea Financial on Main Street in Tottenville, they're collecting toys for us as well. So these toys will be gone within a couple of days.
Yeah.
We'll be filling the orders, and then we'll get the toys from Tom, and then we'll get the toys from Chelsea Financial, so we'll have enough to cover. But if anybody wants to donate, you can drop them off at Thomas, Realty. We're really looking for things for girls ages like 8 to 13 or 14. Nobody ever donates for that age group.
Okay.
So, and if you can't find anything, even if you want to give a gift card, one of the great things we do every year is people donate movie tickets.
Oh, wow.
That we give to the older kids that if we don't have toys for
Yeah.
them. But there's no movies this year, so we can't do that. So, one other thing I just want to say, I want to do a big shout out. We already, shouted out to Fran, but Madeline and Karen, my other 2 volunteers, they do almost all of the sorting and preparing of the packages for the people that need the toys. So I just wanted to say thank you
I
to them.
appreciate that, and we appreciate them. Very quickly, as we wrap up, I just want to say thank you to you for doing this. Vincent, obviously, thank you for coming. Thank you for all that you do, Dennis. And I got a feeling that we're going to be back, and we're going to want to hear from you again, because you are doing so much. And I feel very warm inside knowing that people are going to have a place to turn when they need it most. So thank you, Dennis. We really appreciate it. Again, donate those toys if you haven't already. You can donate them here at the warehouse at 22 Brianna Court, or donate them at the Tom Crimmins Realty office at 304 Manor Road. Girls ages 8 to 13 we need toys for them. So don't forget about them. But any donations would be great. We really appreciate it. I'm Alec Willis, that's Vincent Brown, and this is Dennis Mckeon. Thank you.
Here, we have a graffiti removal machine, all lawnmowers, weed whackers and stuff. This is part of our wardrobe section of the prop shop. Here we have everything on this side of the room has been donated. These are gowns and formal wear for girls to go to proms, or mothers of the brides, and any type of formal wear, and it's all free. You can come whenever we're open and take a dress or two if you need. All of the items on this side of the room have all been donated to our prop shop to be used as wardrobe for upcoming shows once the virus is over. So we have army uniforms, we have leather jackets, we have suit jackets, we have fur coats, we have wedding dresses, we have pretty much everything. And this is, so if you have anything, we're looking for vintage clothing from the 40s, 50s, and the 60s. If you have anything you want to donate, and all of this is going to be offered to local schools putting on productions and local community theater groups. Hats and wigs, some Pirates of Penzance stuff. You're coming up to the room, which is usually our toy store, but this year, because of COVID, we can't use it as a toy store. So we're using it as a sorting room for toys. We're taking requests from families in need, and our volunteers are putting together packages to satisfy those requests so that the kids have something for this Christmas. And here's our puppet stage for our movie that's going to be filmed here in January, written by Scott Meany.
2020 Tim Burton.
Yeah, it's about a vampire, that's all I'm saying.
Nice. All right. So we're going upstairs. Upstairs, its main services for the prop shop.
Yes.
Right.
The entire second floor is the prop shop by people on Staten Island. We went out to a Anything But Costumes, which is a prop shop going out of business. Bought some things that we thought we would definitely use. But as you can see, the shelves are beginning to fill up. We have wall mounting candlesticks. This is all miscellaneous items for dressing up tables and such. Sporting goods, wedding dresses, all small furniture on top. Wicker baskets, cameras from all ages, some small furniture. We have baking stuff, lighting stuff, old style. There's an old toaster, kitchen appliances. These are some of our bigger items back here. Over here we have a Christmas section. Here's chairs from Our Lady Upper Christian School they donated to us. Aladdin's lamp. Some old Western Vietnam stuff. We have telephones. We have TVs and old radios. We have a gong. Typewriter. Costume jewelry. Swords. Tap dancing suitcases. Some guns. Some microphones. Here's something you will like. These are real Victoria's Secret wings. The model came in and gave them to us.
Really?
Oh, so she says. We have some knickknacks, luggage from all ages. Whoops. We have some lamps, glassware, tea cart, carriage. If we ever want to open a florist, we have enough vases to support us.
Awesome.
And like I said, most of this stuff is donated from people on Staten Island. If anybody has anything, particularly older thing, before they get rid of it, think of us. Text us a picture of it. We'll tell you if we could use it or not. And same thing with the wardrobe downstairs. And all of these items will be used to help support the local community theater on Staten Island and schools putting on production. We will offer any of these props to any school, the local community theater group, free of charge. They just have to put down a deposit, which they get back when they return the prop.
I got a question.
Yes.
What was the, I'll say, oddest thing you ever?
The oddest thing ever was that bush downstairs, that
The
plant
plant
that the guy
plant,
walked
alright.
in with. But
That's funny.
we got some strange stuff. We have a pink violin, which that's pretty strange.
That's interesting. That's
You know,
awesome.
But
Oh,
it's a lot of fun, and it's all going to be put to good use. And a lot of the people that enjoy the shows that we put on, because we affiliated with Ghost Light Productions and In the Wings. So my youngest son, who works with the DA now, is in a lot of the shows.
Nice.
But we also put on in April, hopefully we can do it again next year, we put on a senior citizen prom at Newdorf High School.
That's awesome.
And last year we had 225 senior citizens. It's catered by Applebee's for free. We have a king and queen of the prom. We have free raffles that they make from people that donate stuff. The girls make up raffle baskets. And it's a lot of fun, and the seniors have a great time. And then the seniors come to a lot of the shows that we put on. So
That's awesome. No,
That's
I appreciate it. Like you guys just saw, we just toured through the Where to Turn warehouse. But Dennis, thank you again for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thanks
so
for
much.
coming.
No, thank you.
And Tom, anytime you want to work together, we're here.
Awesome.